And there you go.
Oh, here it is. Hello. And there you go.
All right, you're listening to the Old Tube Radio Network.
You may not find us on your TV, because in case you did not know, we're being brought to you by
OTR.
Brought to you by
27.085 megahertz.
Brought to you by RADI.
The Old Tube Radio Network.
I like that. I can't talk over the applause tonight. They just have to. They just have to cut out and go away. Hello, the Old Tube Radio Network. Real radios glowing in the dark, like the one you might see if you're watching oldtuberadio.net or listening to oldtuberadio.net. Hello, my name is Dennis, net controller for the Old Tube Radio Network, where we try to distribute information about, talk about, investigate the old tube radios, those radios from, what would you say, 1958 to about 1978 for the Class D 11-meter Citizen Radio band. We've been doing it for about 35 years thanks to our tube radio operators and SWLs who seem to think that the Saturday night place to be is 27085, and you know what? They would be correct. So without further ado, I want to grab the shortwave listener list. We'll be chatting with our shortwave listeners, and then at the end of that, of course, we'll be doing the radio check-in. So hopefully you have a radio to check in tonight. If you don't, you are certainly welcome to listen in like I do and enjoy the sound that you may remember back in the day on your 11-meter radio. OTR is standing by here looking for SWL 00.
Oh boy, I hope we made it. 00 checking in.
You made it. I've got to get the thing that says checking in up on the screen here. I go to 00. I click the thing, and it says you are checked in, and we are, as they say, off and running. Over.
Oh, thanks a whole lot, but you caught us there off guard. You got us, Dennis. Almost got us. 00 checked in.
All right, good deal. No problem. Yeah, I'm kind of doing things a little differently here tonight with some audio, and it requires me to not break my microphone and to click buttons and do stuff. But the main thing is that our shortwave listeners and old tube radio operators are out there, and that's what makes things go. Thanks for getting us started off. Got to check in for SWL number 1, who says, how did things get so complicated? Back in the day when you could just have a carbon microphone and 7 tubes, and you'd be on the air ready to go. Also, let's see if I can get Mr. OBP SWL2, who is out there on the video side tonight. Everybody wave hello to Kevin on his screen there. All right, Kevin is doing good. Bands have been pretty good. The 11 meters has been open in the mornings for about 3 or 4 hours. John, Motormouth Mall has been running his video gates almost every day, and there are big 30, 40 over signals. If you do it right, if you don't, well, you'll still be in the mix. Over to SWL3. SWL4. I know a lot of people, I mentioned this before, it is that time of year where you are having Christmas parties and gatherings at the office and things going on and shopping and all that. So if you need a quick check-in, leave me a note or jump in and we'll get you checked in. We appreciate you actually running into the radio room to stop by and say hello. And on Saturday nights here, let's go to SWL5. SWL 6. Shortwave listener number 7.
SWL 7 checking in.
Okay, you are around. Wasn't sure what was going on, but you are sounding good. Hope I'm making it through the noise.
Yes, you are making it through the noise, but it is a horrible noise night.
Yeah, well, this isn't supposed to be the horrible noise night frequency, but sometimes you just never know. All right, thanks for checking in. We've got you.
Thank you.
Over to, let's see, we go over to SWL 10. That's Chrissy up in Idaho, and I haven't even looked at my chat list. I've been so busy here seeing what's going on, but there are a lot of people on the video stream on YouTube tonight, and Chrissy is in. I see you, Chrissy. We will get you checked in, and she is in saying hello to everybody that comes in there. So like she's like the video greeter tonight. Thanks, Chrissy. I wish we could have you all the time at the front door saying hello. Over to SWL 13. That's Mike, Mr. Coburn. Let me go over to this screen, see who's over at oldtuberadio.net, a host of SWLs, no doubt. Up in the balcony, hello, Dallas, Georgia. The unknown SWL. You'll see the person with the bag over their head and the rubber ducky antenna. Say hello to them. Hello, San Bernardino. Newton, Squamish, BC, up in their special spot. Go up there and check out Albert and the gang. Kerman, Fresno, Logan, Ohio is in tonight. Let me see what's going on in Logan. Will it tell me what's happening in Logan? Logan is a city in Hocking County, Ohio. The population was 7,152 not so long ago. Currently 30 degrees at 11 o'clock. A little bit chilly. It is that time of year. We're probably going to get today was kind of a yucky December day here in Central Valley. Inez, Kentucky, Woodland Park, Colorado, with the beams headed our way, waiting for the skip to come in. And as always, right there, right in the front row, trying to keep me from tripping over the cords. We are rewiring some stuff here. Bill and Canby and Chet out there in Derby, and of course Charlie in Anoka. All right, back to roll call, where we are looking for SWL 14. And SWL 16, Charlie's in there. We wired up some digital audio tonight, so that's what's going on. Although it's analog by the time it gets out of the radio, but it makes for less mess. No, it's amazing how many wires you have to go wireless. Let's go to SWL 17. Shortwave listener 18. And Charles says it's a wonderful Saturday night. It is. It's a little chilly here, but it's not bad. I don't think the fog is set in. I can see through the window behind me, so the window cadaver is out somewhere. SWL 19, Chet in Derby, New York, where it's probably, well, see, it's not going to show the right temperature. Let me click in. At least I can see what's happening up in Belfast. 27 at 11:13. So yeah, it's mostly cloudy and cold. Let's go to 19 is in. Let's go to SWL 20. Hello, Harvey.
Hello, Dennis. Hey, number 20 here. Checking 29 and 54 also. And this will be a radio interest tonight and will be for sale.
All right. For sale is a good thing. Do your holiday shopping early on the Old Tube Radio Network, and it's sounding pretty good. We will chat with it coming up when we start glowing in the dark. Thanks for checking in.
Yeah.
Okay, and let's see, I didn't mention the casualties tonight. Because of the digital analog conversion, the Echo Link is down. Well, it's actually up, but I'm not able to convert it so that it works properly between analog and digital. What else is down? The crossband is down. The HF is down just because of the links. But the jingle singers are available, but I have to actually do some physical patching. Charlie and Chet came up with a way for me to actually switch some cables and patch the jingle singers in, because they're on contract. I think they actually have to show up on the program at least once, or I don't know. Somebody gets in trouble. We're going over to SWL 21 live, or just recently from his live rendition at Old Radio Night. And again, I cannot play the audio from Old Radio Night, but I can. Let's see. Can I bring us a picture? What was going on tonight on? Unless it goes really huge, I can't see what you were on. You're on the Saturn, right? Let me. Man, this gets confusing here. If I go to this one, there it is. All right, there is this Galaxy Saturn, channel 12, 27105. No audio. Can't do the conversion on the audio. And I'm trying to see what was the. Let me know. I can't get the title on there, but let me know what was the reverse preamp of the evening. Nice. I like sort of the limbo lighting and the green and the red meter and the darkness, but the big 21 unit 21 on the air. Anyway, Old Radio Night. If you haven't checked it out from the West Coast, head out there before this program out in the Wasama swamps of South Carolina and see what JT does with just 4.5 watts of power and a shockwave antenna or something like that. We got you checked in, and bravo on ORN. All right, back to the studio here. SWL 22. SWL 23. I'm getting 23 Skidoo checked in. He has been busy of late, and I told him that probably because I don't have the Echo link up, he should take the evening off and go do a Saturday night thing that doesn't get him in trouble with the XYL. Over to SWL 24.
24, checking in.
24. Sounding good tonight. Good audio and right there. So I don't know if you got an early call, but we got you checked in. Over to SWL 25. All right, I got 25 and 74. Boy, you are much weaker than I remember. So you might be on a different radio, or perhaps indeed you are trying out the rain gutter antenna tonight. We do have you in 74 checked in. All right, well, I know about those antenna things, but I am hearing you through my static here, and you are checked in. Good to have you on board with us tonight. And hopefully you have, even if you might not be in our DX zone like Chet, you have the Courier Royale on and running to keep you warm. And, you can check in with somebody on Channel 11, even if you can't hear us. Over to SWL, let's see, 25 is in SWL 27.
27's checking in live from Studio G, 55 degrees.
Yeah, it was every bit of a Fresno December today. I never did see the sun. I forgot. I was going to go out and pick a few oranges. When the weather gets cold, the oranges start tasting good. So go out and pick some oranges.
Roger that.
Other than that, you get these warm days, and the oranges just don't get good till after Christmas. But I had one the other day, and it was delicious. Okay, we are on page 2 if you're following along in the home game. SWL 28. Gary up in Sacramento, where it might have been a little nicer day. Sometimes up in the Delta they get some sun. Gary's in there saying he's checking in. He's spending the weekend in the 1969 Aristocrat trailer at Bodega Bay, listening to the show with a side of crab. I have a side of crab over here. It's a crabby person. No, it isn't. Everybody is in good spirits here tonight, and that Gary is out listening to the old Tube Radio classic radios in his classic 1969 trailer. It doesn't get any more perfect than that. So good deal. Glad you can spend time with us, and I hope the turquoise fins on the Aristocrat have been polished up and looking good out there in the bay, where it's probably nicer than you'd be having up in Sacto right now. Thanks for checking in.
Right here.
We've got a proxy check-in for SWL 29 and a breaker. The breaking station. Go ahead.
Hey, Dennis, 195's going to check me in, but I made it here to Dallas. 650 checking in early, please.
Yeah, you're sounding good here in Midtown, so we will get you checked in, X'd out, so you may go do what it is you need to do. Thanks for jumping in and saying hello.
10-4, everybody. Have a good weekend.
And, X4000 reminding us to watch out for the birds in Bodega Bay. They said, that's why Gary is hoping no one knocks on the trailer door and says, "It's the end of the world." No, they won't do that. That was, at least let's hope they don't. Let's go over to SWL 30. That's Dwayne. He is in. He's heating up the QTH there with the Browning. Probably got the Browning on, the Robin on, waiting for some skip. We have the daytime skip. We just don't have the nighttime E-skip coming up. Although typically this time of year, the northwest corner will start floating in. We'll be listening. Over to SWL 31. SWL 32. SWL 33. That's myself. Bozo Control. Where's Bozo Control? Yeah, the honking proboscis there. He's heading up. He's heading up to the balcony to pick up some of that barbecue from Albert and the gang, and to take the fan. He's got the portable fan up there. They're having some trouble with the hood or whatever's supposed to keep the smoke out, so the fire department doesn't show up. Although I think the big red limo. I'm trying to look out the window. I can't see. I think the big red limo is parked in the fire zone tonight, which is okay. They can do that. I have to see what Bob and Steve have cooked up. It is going to be a good evening for sure. Let's go over to SWL 34. That's Jimmy, Mr. Railroader. I'm hoping to talk with him. He's got a great way of recording some audio bits, and hopefully we can have a little Ask Jimmy segment, since he seems to know. Not seems, he does know a lot about old tube radio history and things of that nature. So it'd be good to hear Jimmy's voice in there telling us what's up and what's happening on all the Facebook pages. That's coming up as soon as I figure out how to do that and how to get everything dialed in. Over to this station that doesn't, no matter where he is, he doesn't miss a Saturday evening. And it's thanks to him that a lot of the stations that check in on tube radios with Red Monkey Communications, keeping us in tubes here in the Central Valley and elsewhere. From cool Cheyenne, Wyoming, Mr. Bill is checking in tonight. Hope all is going well. You might have a white Christmas already over there. Over to SWL 36. And that is Jerry, who would normally probably be trying to jump in on the Echo link, but again, I'm having issues converting things from digital to analog. So we will get you checked in, and if I get a chance, I'll scroll down on the old Tube CB Radio Network page and see what your latest post was. I think you had a radio up there. I don't remember. I know you said you were going to be busy, but got a lot of stuff going on. Jerry's got some super nice-looking classic radios and is taking his time going through them and and getting him back up in showroom condition. Out there in, where is he at? Out there in Arizona. Close to home, SWL 37.
SWL 37 checking in, and good evening time, Dennis.
And good evening time to you here on the Old Tube Radio Network. You are sounding good. I've got the X in the square. Over.
Good, at least I know I'm here, huh?
We are all here, I think, for at least until 10 o'clock when we return, or what do we used to say, returning the frequency to normal use, whatever that is.
And sometimes later. Well, we'll see. We'll see what happens tonight.
We're on the direct-to-net roll call. The tube radios will be by shortly, so don't go away. Looking for SWL 38. Shortwave listener 39. SWL 40.
Hey, Dennis.
This is Dennis, over.
By the way, check Parky in 50, please. He's out for the night.
50. Okay, I think I heard him last night on the Ditch Bank sideband net, so he's definitely radioactive. All right, thanks. I'll get Mark checked in.
Dennis is 40, Larry?
That is correct.
Fox in.
Okay, will do. Sometimes he pops in. He makes it... It's a long flight of steps up from the basement to get to the radio room, so make sure that he gets in as well. Next on my list, from way over there, on the other side of that other ocean, SWL 41, BDA, RD, Road Dog 507, and he's checking in tonight, 2 International Sideband 507, or 2NY 507 out of the Hudson Valley, New York. Looking good on my screen tonight. Hope you got some good DX this weekend. Over to SWL 42.
Yeah, that's Proxy and 42 in the gang.
All right, 42 in the gang. We will do that. Also got a proxy for Crazy Eddie.
Yes.
And wanted to say hello. Who's out there? As Cornbread would say, out there not checking in tonight. From the Low Country, Hemorrhoid is out there. We're coming up to, let's see, that guy, Joey L., Van Man from Kentucky. Yeah, Van Man's checking in here on the West Coast. I guess if we did this during the day, and if anybody comes by during the summer months when we have the skip, you could check in, but we probably wouldn't hear you because we'd be hearing like 50,000 other people. Levon is in, of course. And he's settled in. Bourbon 497 Gypsum. He's 10-8 and 10-10. Remember that? You were 10-8 and 10-10. You didn't want to be 10-9. I used to have a CB code, and some people would say, 1019, return to base. My neighbor was actually back in Southern California. He used CB for business purposes. It was like a base to Unit 1, and he would do that 10 code stuff the right way. I don't ever think I heard him say anything about a 10100, but he was on the money, and right down to say your call and say 1019, do your business, and be done with it. SWL 44 360 out somewhere, wondering why Midtown Fresno can't elevate the antenna a little bit more. I don't know. What did I say? Someday soon, right? SWL 45. Hello, Paul.
Kind of good tonight, Dennis. 45.
Yeah, we're working on it slowly, but surely. But you've got good radios there, so I can be. What do they say on 11 meters? I can be a mud duck, and you'd probably still hear me. We've got you checked in. There, I made it official by clicking the button. SWL 46. I'll get Rush checked in. I actually hear him on sideband when he checks in on the Ditch Bank's sideband net. Over to SWL 47. They're doing the Christmas tree lane thing again. I'll have to see. I don't know when the walk nights are. He could pop in and surprise us on the 4-watt portable. Over to SWL 48.
Dennis, I don't think they're going to do a walkthrough because of the COVID and everything. They're just strictly doing drive-throughs from what I've understood.
Oh no, it's outside, and you can wear a mask. Well, we'll see. All right. I know they're doing the drive-bys because coming home from the radio station, I go right down Maroa, and they've got big, long lines, and the police are out there directing traffic and cones and all sorts of stuff. So, well, we'll see. That's too bad if they don't, because that's become a tradition here on the old Tube Radio Network.
Well, doesn't the first night usually a walkthrough?
They usually have 2 walkthrough nights. One is usually on a weekend, and one I think is on a Tuesday or a Thursday.
Yeah, maybe they will then.
Okay, we'll see. That's what I need. Boy, I think the cedar trees, the pine trees are dropping these little dinky pine cones that are full of yellow pollen. If my voice sounds a little wacko, that is why. Boy, it's just tearing me up. SWL 50, we got a proxy check-in for Mr. Monkey's Uncle Mark. Let's head over to Sangertown in the mellifluous modulation of SWL 51.
Sangertown checking in, SWL 51.
All right, man, you got that thing dialed up. It sounds good. For just like an S9, I look over and say, are you mobile? Are you 20 over? No, that's how good that audio sounds. Thanks for checking in.
Thank you, Dennis. Have a good evening.
It's hard to get good sounding AM, but our stations consistently do it on their tube radios and things like that. Let's try, he popped in last week, SWL 52. SWL 53.
Hello, Dennis. Well, there's the legend. 53 on the east side, checking in. You have a good weekend.
All right, you got the radio cranked up tonight, sounding good here in Midtown. We got you checked in.
Thank you.
And we're going to page 3 when I can find it. Should be right after page 2. Sometimes it is, sometimes it isn't. Saying hello to John in Scranton, Arkansas. Sounding great tonight. Everybody's sounding great tonight on the old Tube Radio Network. I just said X for 1,000. Am I doing the show sober tonight? The guy has a seersucker suit and a pocket protector. And probably has a cup of Ovaltine somewhere. Come on. Hello to Uncle Hairball, if I didn't say so already. I might have. Richard, we're coming up to you. And radio is coming up as well. Did I say we get 54 checked in? Mr. Board Jammer's in. How about SWL 55?
55 checking in.
Hey, sounding good. I'll put the X in the square, and you are checked in tonight, Eminem, and thanks.
Thank you.
And 55 is in, and over to SWL 56.
Good evening, Dennis and the net. This is SWL 56, just for kicks.
All right, we're kicking the S meter up to good to 20 over, so it is sounding good. Thanks for checking in. Yeah, 4,000. I wonder if they can put a little bit of Ovaltine in the eggnog. Eggnog's kind of iffy to begin with, so maybe some Ovaltine might make it even better. Over to SWL 57. And that is Brown Dog Audio right there, checking in on his birthday. Oh, man, do we have no, I don't have the birthday thing queued up. We used to have a really cool Old Tube Radio Orchestra birthday jingle, and I don't know if it's a copyright thing or what, but just if I find it and I can play it and not get in trouble, we will do that. So have a great birthday. I know you are. Good friends, family, and radios here at the compound. Well, that is a good birthday. Finished off with the old Tube Radio Network. Wow. All right, well, happy birthday, and the SW will stop by, let 57, let Mr. BDA know that You only get better, right? You don't get older. I think the watchword is when you reach the age of your SWL number, then you know it's all over, right? Over to SWL 58. I've long passed mine. In fact, when we started this long ago, I'm trying to think. No, I was below my SWL number when we started this. I'm pretty sure. So I passed mine long ago. Let's see, 58 Jeremy. Get Jeremy checked in. See if he's doing. I'm still hoping to talk to him on 17 meters or 15 meters. I had a really good conversation with a guy in Nebraska yesterday on 15 meters. He was waiting for a mobile maritime net. He was like 20 over. But of course, I think he had one of those 5 over 5 over 5 stacks with a kilowatt. So sometimes that helps. Over to SWL 59. SWL 60.
Yeah, thank you, Dennis. Evening time to all the fellas out there. SWL 60 checking in.
That's like deja vu all over again. Thanks for hanging out at the microphonium for number 2. All right, Brown Dogs got 20 more to go. All right, well, we'll be here. I think we'll be here for another 20 years. We'll have the balloons come down when you reach 57, checking in at the same time. In fact, the balloons are supposed to come down when we reach our millionth tube. I don't know when that's going to be. I might not be sitting in the OTR network chair by that time, but that means I won't have to blow up all the balloons for the festivities. Let's head over to Copenhagen Kid, SWL 61.
61, checking in, man.
All right, I'm trying to push a few more decibels in the audio so you can hear me. You're sounding good, and I got you checked in.
Yeah, you're sounding really good tonight, too. It's the best I've heard in a long time.
All right, it's that seersucker suit I put on. I made the tie tight tonight. Thanks.
Thank you, Dennis.
That's it. Just gotta choke me a little bit, so I'll talk more. And where are we going? King Duckford, SWL 62, out there in North Dakota, where no doubt. Oh, my screen went away. Nope, it's still there. Where no doubt things are a little bit cool, but that's the way they're supposed to be. Just jumping in on the balcony, joining us tonight. Hello to somewhere near Castle Hayne. Wait a minute. Is that right? Castle Hayne, North Carolina. Sounds like an actor one of the actors on Green Acres. Castle Hayne, North Carolina, where it's 50 degrees at 11:36. Quick facts. Castle Hayne is in New Hanover County. Population was 1,202 not so long ago. Having a good time off there off of Highway 40 and listening into the old Tube Radio Network tonight. Looking for SWL 63. That's Butterbean. Did Butterbean check in? Somebody let me know if Butterbean was in on Old Radio Night tonight, and we'll get him checked in. Over to SWL 64. SWL 65.
Can I proxy him?
Yeah, we'll put get Eric in proxied here on the Old Tube Radio Network. No problem. SWL 66. SWL 67. Bill up there in Canby. I had the keys. I think I put them on check in my pocket. Checking my pockets. I think I took out all the keys because I did that last week. I ended up taking the keys. Wait a minute. See? I knew it. There it is. Okay. I promised Bill that I would not do that again. So he has to get in. All right. I will put them in the little ring thing so you'll be able to find them at the end of the program here. And next, we've got SWL 68 Michael 157 in Bronx. Are you out there listening tonight? Not sure. We'll keep an ear out. Over to SWL 69. Of course, that is Kenny in Tulsa, Oklahoma. get Kenny checked in. He comes by and watches the replay on the video because it's kind of late. It's kind of late when we're going live. But of course, Kenny, as you know, most of you know, he was checking in here live and direct and enjoys hearing all the voices on the playback. So thanks, Kenny. We miss you out here. We'll be looking for you on when the skip conditions come in. All right, I have to check. Occasionally I have to just look over and check the meters that are behind me to make sure that I see the problem. You know how it is, and when you're running old tube radios in gear, you want to see the problem before you smell the problem, because then it's probably too late. Over to SWL 70.
Hey, Dennis. How you doing? All's good here in downtown Morgan Canyon.
Hey, sounding good. Did you guys get any sun up there today?
Yeah, it's actually pretty nice.
Yeah, see, it was kind of doom and gloom down here, but sometimes you've got to do that in altitude. I'll check the temperature. You know, here in Fresno, the temperature is 51 degrees, and then you say, okay, what's the temperature in Shaver Lake, where it should be much cooler, and it's like 56. I'm thinking, oh, something is wrong. It must be December.
Yeah, it was nice here. We're not that high. We're like 1,200 feet. I was actually up at my sister's place. They're up on top of the 4-lane today, and it was super nice up there. Super nice and sunny. Everything's burnt to a crisp right around them, but it's nice.
All right, well, have to take a drive or something. Get out and about. All right, you are sounding good on the old tube radio network tonight. Thanks for checking in. Audio sounding good on AM.
Different rig.
Yeah, well, and you're on frequency. I couldn't tell if you were off frequency because on AM you can. It doesn't have to be perfect.
All right, one more thing, and then I'll shut up so the next roll. I made a comment earlier about some noise that the other dentist was recording, and I said that's definitely perceivable. Referencing your email about perceived noise on that Elecraft. Anyway, back to you.
Well, again, I mean, I don't want you staying up at night with that thing because it's good, but it's just a weird thing. And you know, if you're not really into like, listening to people's audio, you think, okay, that's the way they sound. So that's why I say it's perceived, because I don't want you staying up late. But if it's something that can be fixed or changed or whatever, we'll find it and do it.
Thanks, man.
Direct net roll call, the old Tube Radio Network. That's what you're listening to. Tube radios will be stopping by shortly. Those radios from 1958 to 1978. Class D citizen radio service. We might have sometimes we get some of the non-Class D radios checking in that's got an 11-meter spot on the dial, on the band spread, and that's fine too, because we like listening to the tubes. Over to SWL 71. I am looking to see if Stan is in on... Yeah, he's checking in. Stan is in tonight. I think there was a CW contest going on or something. I didn't hear a lot of contesting on the bands, but they're good in the morning. When it's afternoon, they just start dropping out. Just start dropping out from 10 meters on down. But Stan can, if there's DX out there, he will find it. Over to SWL 72. And let's see, Rusty Rails. Did I say hello to Rusty Rails? 148 in Arkansas out there? Well, if not, hello radio. Thanks for stopping by the old Tube Radio Network. SWL 73. Get a proxy in for John, who has lots of non-Class D boat anchor equipment. He's checked in before. I might encourage him to stop by again. SWL 74 is in, Miss Jilly.
The comment, break real quick.
Yeah, the break real quick. Go ahead.
I thought I'd jump in on her spot and see if the audio is any better on this thing.
Well, I'll be honest. The audio is exactly the same as it was, except the signal is about 50 dB better.
Yep. Much better?
Way more than much better.
Oh, okay. Oh, thank you, Dennis. And Marcy's sounding good, too, and everybody's sounding good. Back to you, Dennis.
All right. Yeah, sometimes the rain gutter seems like it should work, but it just doesn't. Over to SWL 75. SWL 77.
Good evening, Dennis, and hello, and 73s to all the listeners. 77 on the Tower Power, checking in.
Checking in and sounding good. As always, thanks for your help pre-net on getting things dialed in.
Yes, sir. My pleasure.
SWL 78. That is Richard. You know, Richard, he's out there, Wild Wildemar. I've been listening in the mornings. I've had time to listen in the mornings to Brian and the group down there, and checking in with some Voodoo audio gurus on 7199. And so, if I can hear you out there, I might give you a call this week. It's 51.8 at the Lake Elsinore International Airport. Maybe I've flown in there before. I'm not sure. 2-for-1 special at the hot dog stand. Ask for the Christmas dog decorated in their Christmas colors, ketchup and green relish. Well, you know, I like neither of those, but I guess I could, you know, get the dog and put it under the tree at least to be festive. Richard, you're looking good and sounding good as well. Thanks. There's GWD Labs Voodoo Audio. You know, I'm doing some AES digital loops out of the Wheatstone, and it's actually helped things up. And it actually helps on that Voodoo Audio. Let's see. Let me go in. I'm going to do, if you're listening, I'm going to turn on. You probably won't hear this over the air, but GWD is out there, and he's sort of the QC guy. He'll send me a note saying, you know, he's got some 60 cycle going on. So here we go. I'm going to turn on the Voodoo. I'm over to the Studio Dominator, Aphex Dominator. This is the first one they built like 30 years ago. And we're going to roll up the hello, 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 hello. I don't know if you'll hear that. You might hear that on the audio stream. But I doubt you're going to hear that on the radio stream. All right, we're rolling that back down. That was just our little pause for Voodoo. Over to SWL 79. Where did Philip go? I'm checking him in. He was in earlier. I was setting all my audio controls for Philip. He was like the really loud guy, so I make sure that like if there's somebody loud, it'll be about where Philip puts in the REA meter.
Go ahead and proxy Phil.
Okay, I'll proxy Phil. It sounds like we have some mobile or a skipland or something coming in there. New York 157, the Windows-sided Beast is in there tonight. Hello to you. AJM Jazz, also tuning in the old tube radio tonight. And XOR, out there from the shores of Lake Shasta. Well, that's where I'm talking up on 40 meters up there to Mark and the gang. He's at Lake Almanor, not Lake Elsinore. We have a Lake Elsinore listening, but he's up at Lake Almanor. And that is some Voodoo audio for sure, so maybe hear you up there. Let's turn the page. But first, we got to go to SWL 80. And let me pause for a second. Is there a station wanting to check in? You're listening to the Old Tube Radio Network. Probably can't hear me. All right, I have to do some fancy moving around of things so that I can get to our jingle singers and do what I need to do to get the Bob and Steve show on the air. So first I have to do this.
27.085 OTR channel 11.
And then I have to do this to get back in the digital world. Okay. I think that is good. Let me see what is going on on episode 92, Bob and Steve, I even took a ride in the limousine this week. I said, you know what? I need to get out of here. So they were kind enough to actually pull it out of the shop and put the little polish rag on it and just drove me around willy-nilly up and down Blackstone Avenue for no particular reason. The Christmas Cookie Bake-Off was such a great success, and it was. I got to be one of the sample judges, that they're going to extend it for another week. The foreman and the policeman are the judges. Yeah, they didn't like me. I always vote for my own cookies. They added their wives to help, and they had 33 different kinds of cookies. I always make sure. If there's 34, I'll take it away. If there's 32, I'll just make another batch. 33 is a good number. The Jingle Singers, with the help of local Girl Scouts, went in the red limo, taking cookies to the nursing homes. There is one not too far away. We actually walk down there sometimes, and we can add cookies as we go. They had to rent extra ovens to handle the crowd. There will be a first, second, and third place winner. All right. Well, I think that's a good thing. At the bar tonight, since there's 33 cookies, so unless they're all from the same three people, I don't know. At the bar tonight, out by the pavilion, and they've got those heater things, those big standard heaters, so it's really not that cold. It's actually nice out there. Marinated pork chops from St. Louis. And join us after the net. Coffee and tea is on Bob and Steve. Thank you, gang. 21 days till Christmas. And don't forget to feed the fish. And let's see, if I want to do the outro, I've got to switch this button and then do it again. We'll be right back.
27.085 OTR Channel 11.
All right, take a break there. I think we're having some conditions. I'll see where they're coming from. I don't know. We'll see if we got some of our SWLs kicking in. SWL 81, of course, Mr. Unicorn, checking in as always. Steve Areno, if you're out there, hope all is going well. SWL 82.
82, checking in from the Ditch Banks of Iowa, and thanks for doing the OTR Net show.
Hey, my pleasure. I got to have a reason to put on this suit. Oh, and the pocket protector, and we do have a sponsor tonight. That'll be coming up tonight. And speaking of doing shows, Ron, SWL 82, also does the Ditch Banks sideband net that happens on Friday here in the Central Valleys at 8 p.m. Pacific time on 27,365. That's 36 lower. So if the conditions are in and you're far away, give 36 lower a listen. Ron's got one of the best doggone receivers ever, and he will hear you and get you checked in. And we all have a good time on Friday night. It's sort of like a decompression net. It's just like Friday night, sideband, what's going on. It's a good thing. Thanks, Ron. Over to SWL 83. Now, I wonder if is John doing a video game? Maybe Motormouth Mall is out there tonight from Santa Maria. We might hear people shouting for MMM. We'll see what happens. Something is up. I can tell something is up on the frequency tonight. Over to SWL 84. I'm going to get Jerry and the ladies checked in, doing a good job. Let's see, we're doing the ceremoniously lighting way over here of the, E.F. Johnson Messenger 223. Looking good. I need some, it's cold in here. I need some more heat. We got you checked in. Also 86, 87, and 88, the Mountain Maid, Tandy Girl, and Snowy Owl. Takes us to SWL 89. SWL 90. Got 90 checked in. Now my mouse isn't working. It doesn't want to click the right way. Over to SWL 91, Felix. Who is out there? Let me know the video is working when we started the video channel. I think he said it was 51. That was hours ago. But Felix is still out there. Thanks, Felix.
Well, you know, it is what it is. Some people have opinions, but, you know, stuff else they say out there, right? And 460 out here in West Texas.
Yeah, West Texas. There you go, DD21. You might have to fire up put the radio down on channel 11. See if John is out there, see if you can catch Motormouth Mall. Tell him it's OTR is out here tonight saying hello. Over to SWL 92. SWL 93. SWL 95. Warthog 95 out there in Foreland. Well, that's not too far from Texas, is it? We'll see what's going on. SWL 96.
Yeah, this is 96 checking in. Everybody have a good weekend.
All right, Dennis, sounding good out there in Kerman. Hope you can hear me through the skip trying to come in. We got you checked in. And Big Rich is in. Hello, Rich. 6520 from the CB Radio News. Good to have you on board tonight. Saying Merry Christmas and hoping that Santa will leave us all some 510s in our stockings. A lot of stuff. Put the really big one that'll hold that vertical antenna and the nice amplifier, but don't tell anybody. Let's see if Jim is in. Over to 97, Boston 97. Right there. All right. Thanks, Jim, for saying hello, radio. And there is Warthog 95. Sometimes the internet goes a little bit slow. So 97 is in. 95 checking in from Orlando, Florida. We're here in Texas. We're here in Texas out here, but I don't know how much power you got to be to just be barely being heard here in the Central California. Over to SWL 98. Tracy checked in early on the old Tube Radio Network. Got you checked in, Tracy. Over to SWL 99. Shortwave listener 100, who probably would be checking in on the Echo link tonight if I had the digital analog thing figured out. Checked in early out from Clevelandville, South Carolina. Station on the side, go ahead.
Yeah, Dennis, did you get me checked in?
Yes, Dennis, 96, I got you checked in, over.
Okay, thank you.
And Joey L. saying Motormouth Mall and 766 are the big rigs that take over Skip in Kentucky. Yeah, well, John points that antenna out. He's been testing on 40 meters. He's got some type of SDR radio that he's rigged into the modulator. I kid you not. I was going to try and record it. He's 10 kc wide on 7293 with this, this radio that's about the size of a pack of cigarettes. Just wacky stuff. Let's go over to SWL 103. SWL 109. SWL 110. SWL 111. Robert out of Reedley checked in earlier, getting some good news from the doctors, trying to get everything taken care of before the end of the year. Okay, and there's Jerry. Hello, Jerry, 36. Yeah, I hear you. You can hear You can hear in my voice. The same thing is going on here. We've got these pollinated little pine cones that fall out of the tree and splat this big yellow mess on the street, and I've got the whole house is surrounded by these things. So that's what I'm blaming it on for me. So I hope you get well. I know what it's like. It keeps you from sleeping, makes your throat sore, bad stuff. So thanks for at least jumping into the radio room tonight and getting checked in. And let me get you up on the list here to make it official. Over to SWL 113. Don't go away. We'll have radios coming up shortly. Maybe some skip. Could be interesting. SWL 114.
114, checking in.
Hey, Wayne, you're sounding good, and I have you checked in yet again on the Old Tube Radio Network.
Thank you for the check-in.
Checking my list to see who's joining us. Mount Meadows area in California. Shinston, West Virginia. And that's an approximation because you never know where the little URL is going to show up. But it's good to have our SWLs aboard. Let me head over to SWL 128. And that is John out in Fairfax, Virginia. A true SWL. He even got tagged by Popular Electronics back in the day as a shortwave listener. And John said he's having serious RFI problems in the last 3 weeks. S7 to 20 over at times. Need to get an RFI locator out and find the source. You and me too, John. I've been trying to talk to the Voodoo gurus down on 40 meters, or is it up on 40 meters? I never know if you go up or down, depending on the frequency of the band. And I have the same thing. This 20 over, that is just horrible. So I end up having to resort to the SDR to see what's going on. So it's kind of like cheating. It's like if you can't use your radio in both going in and going out, I don't know. But yeah, I've got the same issue here. So keep us updated on what happens on the Sherlocking the RFI. SWL 131, you heard John check in moments ago. The band is opening up. SWL 133.
Good evening, Dennis. Please check in 133.
I will check you in, Dave. You are sounding good from Northwest Fresno. Over.
Thank you.
All right, thanks. Oh, okay. You know what? I'm putting 2 and 2 together and not getting 5. I know where that Mount Meadows is. We have Lake Elsinore checking in earlier, SWL 78, and now we have Lake Almanor checking in. Mark is giving us a little voodoo. I tried to do the voodoo thing earlier when GWD Labs is on. I rotated the 80 hertz up for the audio stream. Probably won't hear it on the radio. Mark is getting me reintroduced into the voodoo audio. And I am, as he would say, slowly sliding down, 2 steps down and 1 step up in the rabbit hole. And tonight, that's why people say I sound good. I'm doing the digital thing and trying to make things sound good. There's something about good audio. And Mark is reminding me how to do that kind of stuff. Let's go over to SWL 135.
If this thing is working, SWL 135 checking in.
You are sounding good. It is working, and I have a feeling that we may be hearing that radio yet again when we start glowing in the dark in just moments.
Indeed.
All right. And JT is checking in. Yeah, JT, fire up channel 11. We're getting some of the long type skip we don't normally get. Normally it's out of the Pacific if it comes in the gray line. So this is interesting. Thank you, Cliff. We've got a check-in for SWL 137. And let's see if Tony is in SWL 145.
Yeah, patiently waiting. 145 checking in, checking out.
All right, in and out, 145. Tony, you will hear his mellifluous voice on the early risers net at least on Friday. Do you do any other days other than Friday?
No, not yet. I'd like to get another day because after I do the net, I I find something for the next week, and then I gotta wait a whole week to give the question. I get a little anxious. But yeah, no, just Friday for now, and I have a lot of fun with it.
Yeah, so do I. When I'm up and about, I use the Echo link and get in, and I always learn something on the question. If I don't know it, and I normally don't, or I know part of it, then that's what happens. Oh, and last week, your question Friday was apropos in that it was concerning Heathkit, and I know we check in Heathkits here, and I knew they were involved with the airplanes early on, but their first kit, and you stumped me with that one, was their oscilloscope. I thought for sure it was the transmitter. Anyway, always enjoy that, and thanks for checking in. That's Tony 145. Neil, SWO 147, out there in Fayetteville, Kakalaki. And you know what? He stopped by earlier, and his information rolled off the screen. So I want to find that and see what is going on with 147 tonight. Let me check in. SWL 188.
Good evening time, Dennis. Good evening time to all SWLs. Hope everybody's having a great weekend. 188 Snow Beast checking in.
All right, Bobby, you hear that skip coming in? It would sound like it was from Texas or something.
Yeah, it's in for 460 West Texas, I believe.
All right, sounded like he might have been talking with Motormouth Mall. I'm thinking John's got it fired up on 11, and of course we're not hearing him, but it's kind of interesting that you can have two conversations, the one on the low, ground wave, and the one bouncing over the top. Kind of cool. All right, Bobby, thanks for checking in.
10-4, thank you.
Yeah, we wouldn't want to do DX. We go over to Snow Beast Jr. He's got the what do they say, like 5 over 5 over 5. He's got the big stacked gizmochi there, and can hear things, and more importantly, can be heard.
I got a new one in the works too for you. I'll send you a picture.
All right. I saw one the other day. That's it. That the classic picture of the guy with the stacked, like the Moonrakers, but it's the Lightning Sixes with the horizontal tower. But sometimes a droopy door antenna is all you need. Thanks for checking in. All right, I'm trying to get it together here because we want to get into the radios. Okay, let's head up to Course Gold. I know it's getting noisy on frequency. Can you hear me, Jim? Over.
I sure can, Dennis. 195 checking in. I'd like to talk to you on 650.
All right, 650 on the proxy, 195 live and direct, and sounding good tonight here in Midtown Fresno.
I'm on top of the hill.
All right, and let's see, before I go any farther, hey, there is 23 Skidoo jumping in from somewhere. Let me see what the skinny is on Mitch. Where you rolled up? No, you're right there. Is it too early from some ETC Christmas music? Probably not, although I may have to wait because I'm doing this analog to digital conversion, and I'm having to do the weirdest thing just to get the jingle singers in, and it negated doing the Echo Link and the crossband and the HF radio because I can't do the switch from the digital to the analog properly and make it sound good. So I might have to wait until next week for that, unless of course, I don't know, Chet or one of the guys brings in like they did last week. Is it still here? I'm looking for it. They brought in the 8-track tape. So we put some ETC on the player. Before things get too wild, let's see if 226 is out there. Hello, Shockwave. Sometimes he gets up on the hill and beacons down that way. Does it on Friday nights. He can hear pretty much all the way up and down the valley from his location. Anybody else needing to check in, make a comment, and then we will be switching to the tube radios. OTR is listening.
Good evening once again. That one element says Merry Christmas.
All right, Merry Christmas to you. Thanks for joining us on the Old Tube Radio Network, and I will be back in a moment as I do all that stuff I need to do. I go around the back of the rack and throw that giant knife switch so that we can get get talking on the old tube radios. OTR will be back in a moment.
I don't know how good my playback is, but where it's at right now, I really do like it. But here's the playback.
Test. 1, 2, 1, 2, test. Oh, hey man, what's going on? I just seen a video get over there in Australia. And he's looking for some DX on this frequency, and I figured I'd just see if I could see it on my computer. But anyways, man, I got you coming back to me. How you doing, man? What part of California are you in? I'm over here in Southwest New Mexico.
But I think it sounded real good on mine.
I didn't catch that QTH. Where you at again? Hi, around Sacktown. All right, be cool, man. It's hard drive, 153 on the Mud Duck Radio. I don't see no conditions over there. It's a new channel, it looks like, on YouTube. He's going live right now. Just seeing if we're going to show up over there. Be cool, man. And Merry Christmas. We don't get to talk before then. Take care. Hard drive 153, the Mud Duck Station in the desert. Moving on. Bye-bye.
All right, this may be a first. We've got, it sounds like John, Motormouth Mall, is doing a video on Channel 11 for skip happenings. The Old Tube Radio Network video is going on with the local happenings, and we'll see how the two mash up or collide across 27085. You are listening to the Old Tube Radio Network, and we'll be checking in Tube Radios in just a moment.
25.
Radios in just a moment.
25.
Oh, you know, I just noticed something. It's 085 is down there, too. Hello, Bozo. Radio station. I didn't mean to do that. 153 Mud Duck. We're clear.
Had to switch back to digital. You're sounding good here on the Old Tube Radio Network tonight. If you talk to Motormouth Mall, tell him we heard him on 40 meters on the SDR radio.
Yeah, I mean, I like it.
You may not find us on your TV because in case you did not know, we're being brought to you by
OTR.
Brought to you by
27.085 megahertz.
Brought to you by RADI.
The Old Tube Radio Network.
All right, this is going to be interesting tonight, switching from analog to digital, and videos going on, and skip here and there, and local stuff, the Old Tube Radio Network. Let me get back to the camera. Let me do what I need to do. Our sponsor tonight, Sylvania, Rogers TV, at 216 East 141st Street in Bismarck, North Dakota. Let me see if I can show you that. That's what's going in the pocket protector tonight. The Sylvania from Rogers TV. Looks like a good thing. And I'll keep it short here. It's going to be a wild hour checking in radios and trying to see if we can get some skip. OTR standing by for radio check-ins.
135, 135.
All right, I have 2 so far. We've got 135. Hang on a moment, Cliff. We'll get right to you. You'll be radio number 2. And then 25 with the audio and all that good stuff. Hello, Jerry. Step up into the air chair. We'll get you checked in. Over.
All right, I'll make this very short. Yeah, kind of a strange evening. I don't think I've heard that skip come in. Not that skip. Usually it's the Alliance skip. But anyway, I'll make it real quick. And by the way, 45 was in there too. So SWL 25 checking in on the sonar Model E. I'm glad we got it working. I guess checked in. Sometimes you got to mess with the channel selector to clean the pots out a little bit, and I guess I hadn't done it in a while. So anyway, 8-channel transmit via...
Well, hello there, old Tube Radio Network. I'm not exactly on an older Tube Radio, but I can connect to it. Hello there, old Tube Radio Network. Fire up my old Johnson 123 and do some other things. If you want...
Anyway,
over there, old Tube Network, I see on the computer right there. I'm actually working on my bench. Top evening, you take care. You got a great little show going on. You can count me in as 153 if you like. Hello there, Bozo's Old Radio Tube Network. 153 hard drive. We're moving on. Bye-bye.
All right. There is the sonar radio that you heard at the beginning of that transmission. And we'll say hello to 153, checking in from afar that you heard at the beginning of that transmission. And like I said, it's going to be a wild night on 11 meters tonight. The old Tube Radio Network. The sonar is sounding good. You're mixing in with the skip tonight, Jerry, on the Model E. If you can hear me, back to you. Over.
Yeah, I can hear you fine, Dennis. Anyway, like I said, it's kind of interesting evening. So anyway, thanks for checking it in, and I'll stand by and let's see what the other operators check in their radios. Thanks, Dennis.
All right, we love the sonar Model E, mid-century modern steampunk coolness with the black face and the cross-hatched dials. The sonar meter is thrown in for extra measure, and getting us started off here on the old Tube Radio Network. Radio number 3 will be Paul. If you can hear us, Paul, don't go away. You'll be after our next station, stepping up right now. Hello, Cliff.
Hello, Dennis. Can you hear me over the noise?
I can hear you over the noise. Over.
Okay, I'll go for it then. Okay, from the Hammerland Manufacturing Corporation in New York, New York. This is the CB23. It's Charlie Bravo-23, 9-tube, 23-channel CB radio. Back to you.
Oh, you fooled me. I heard you talking on another H-style radio earlier, but this one is great. From Hammerland, this is back to their radios that look like CB radios and not like HQ110 receivers. Pretty cool. I like this. The 23, and this is from your collection, it says. So it is very possible that the radio which we just heard is the one that we're seeing up at the video at oldtuberadio.net. Or on the video as well. I notice it's at channel 11. Once again, I bet it never goes away from channel 11. Over.
Not too often, just to check it and see how it's working. Looks like I'm just about smack on frequency. And, yeah, let's see. This thing has all 23 channels and 3 transit sectors. The sectors go, 1 through, like 15, and then 16 through, I don't know. It has 3 different sectors that you have to click towards to get to all the different channels because of the way they use the crystals in here. And if you do have the picture of mine, you'll see that is the original microphone. It's an Electro Voice. Hardwired into the front of the radio. It's a small black plastic handheld unamplified microphone that says Hammerland on it. Back to you.
Yeah, we got a great shot of it. I wonder if Hammerland got as much flack for jumping into the Class D 11 meters as Swan did. I think Hammerland was more receivers. Johnson did it. Helicopters did it. Heathkit did it. Hammerlin kind of snuck in the back door with some really great sets. We're hearing and seeing one of them right now with a 23-channel CB23 Hammerland. And maybe you're being heard out in Skip, in the Skip Zone, 153, listening in, and others watching the video at oldtuberadio.net. It's got nice audio for the original microphonium, and I did check the frequency. You're maybe 10 or 20 cycles low. Can't tell on AM for sure, so that is holding up well from the early 1960s over.
Yeah, not too bad for an old radio. What blew me away about it is if you got any of the advertising there, this one cost more than the big giant 105 TR. That kind of shocked me. This was a more expensive radio. I guess because it has all 23 channels. The 105, even though it's a great big radio, just had the one channel for transmit. But that kind of blew me away. It's like at least $25 more. So let's see. I got one to check in later. So I'll let's turn it over to Paul up there in the hills. Thanks for letting me check this in.
Yeah, it's sounding good. Great audio. Perfect, standard old tube radio audio. Getting a lot of SWLs liking that radio. It is a very rare look. And you know what? With the other Hammerlin radios, they already had the chassis and everything because they were modified receivers like the HQ105 and things like that. So maybe when they had to start from scratch, like on the 23 and the 214, and like you said, each crystal, remember the crystals used to cost like $1.95 or $2.95, and then you need a set of them. So probably add that all together, and it was a little bit more. But people were getting into the Class D citizen radio service, and I'm sure the price was competitive. I'm looking in the Rolodex. I don't have a price. I also wanted to see if we had a date for that radio, and I'll go back to you for a quick transmission to see if you've got a date on it. But I'm going to say it's probably early 60s, but I don't have an exact date. Over.
Yeah, I can't remember the exact date, but it is early 60s, and it originally just came, according to the manual. I got the manual for this thing, too, and it says it comes with just a Channel 9 crystal, and I guess the rest of it is up to you. Yeah, so that could run you a bunch of money back in those days. Heck, even a bunch of money today. But I'm not sure of the exact year on this, but it must have been somewhere around the same time as the 105 TR, because I know I saw an advertisement showing both of them.
Okay. Well, 23 channels and an S meter, that is a top-of-the-line radio, so I'm assuming it was probably near at least $200. And it doesn't, I don't know if you know it's mobile or not, but if it had a 6-volt and 12-volt option, probably would definitely be before 1965 to match the 6-volt vehicles. Sounds good. Good audio on frequency. Don't get to hear too many of the Hammerlins, but they did jump into the Class D citizen radio service. So thanks for bringing it by.
Oh yeah, this was a base or a mobile for 12 volts. There was a 12-volt optional way to wire this up. I believe it originally came with that cable. I don't have that cable, but originally it did. So yeah, you could operate it either way. Again, I think you were right. I think it was about 1963. So that was a lot of options for back then, as early on. Okay, we'll let it roll, and we'll catch you in a few minutes.
All right, I should be here. Sometimes the channel's quieting down a little bit. The old Tube Radio Network wanted to say, I did get SWL checking in. New York 157, the window-sided beast. Got you checked in on the list tonight, Michael. And we are going to our third radio, Paul, up in North Fork. Hello, 45. Can you hear me? Over.
Yeah, I hear you just fine. Let's check in my general radio telephone, Super MC8.
All right, we'll go to the Rolodex and look for the general radio telephone, Super MC8. And Cliff, I hope you are not in the middle of changing radios that you cannot hear my transmission. But thanks to 23 Skidoo, who has the better Rolodex than I do. He has the one that actually, the cards flip. Mine, they're just all over the place. But he's flipped around and found that the original price on that radio, $249.95. Yeah, I figured it would be at least $200 because it's full and looks like it's around 1964. So we were guessing pretty close. I'm looking for the General Radio Telephone Super MC8 in my Rolodex, and I think I found it. And then we might get lucky again and have a picture of the one that is actually being checked in here. Paul, take another transmission. Over.
Yeah, you got it. That's the one I'm talking about right now. Super MC8. It's first to the Super Radio, the General Radio Telephone. Started quite a deal with this. It has 9 tubes, 24 channels, similar up control, and real new, brand new unit. I don't think the 6 had the first one. It might have, but I don't think so. Okay, and it added new switches on the front. And the really nice thing about the 8 is the tubes are reasonable to 16, 11. Really nice, bright, and they changed a lot of that
All right, back to me in the studio. Interesting, when you first keyed up, or is it keyed down? But when you first took your transmission, your audio was pretty strong, and then it sort of slowly faded. So I'm not sure if that's a radio thing because it's warming up, or if you could have, wandered away from the microphone. So the next transmission, make sure you're into the microphone, and we'll check out what happens. The MC8 actually had 9 tubes. I'm looking to see if it had the ELL 800. I don't think so. I think that came probably one radio later. That is a 12-volt DC or 115-volt AC radio, so you could lug that in the car if you didn't have the matching, what was the VS series that General Radio Telephone put out. And that, as most General Radio telephones were, was a $200 radio, $199.50 back in probably 1966 or 67. And I'm trying to think. It's a 23-channel, but it does have the Civil Air Patrol making it the 24-channel radio, 26620. Paul, take another transmission. Let's see how the audio sounds. Over.
Yeah, it could be operator error, too. Might be, from the looks of my meter, that's what it was doing. I dropped up and in. That's 2. Hello. Now let's back up. Okay, operator error.
All right, well, that's 1 for you and about 15 for me tonight. So you've got a long way to go to catch up. The Super MC8, sort of the classic front end with the 4 switches. I notice it doesn't have the frequency delta tune in the middle. That came later. But as usual, nice, strong audio on the Super MC series, the 8, the 9, the 11, 11A, 12, and I don't even know. I don't know what happened to the MC10. I don't think I've ever heard one.
They went down, I think that was the Molo. Somebody went to that. They should change around awful lot, but mostly the OCD outfit did. So, not drop down, because I have dropped down. Hello. Okay. It's me again. I just blew off the thing. Thanks. Now let's go.
All right. Thanks for bringing it by. The signal stays pretty strong. I'll put the S meter up so you could give yourself a meter reading if you watch the replay of the video. Radio number 3. Paul up in North Fork, about 30 miles to the east and the north, up in the foothills here from Midtown Fresno, on the General Radio Telephone Super MC8, one of those radios that was loud back in the day, and here in the 21st century, loud as well. Old Tube Radio Network, we're listening for Radio 4. Thanks, Paul. And it seems like our little sporadic E-skip conditions have faded. But I wonder if they've just moved position. We need Superloop. We need Greg out there. He's got the chart that shows where the atmosphere is being charged at the moment. Maybe there's some 6-meter openings coming in as well. Hello, up in the balcony, just jumped through the door. Come on down. They're up in Inglewood, Colorado. Probably got the beams pointed this way to see if they can hear Central California. OTR is listening for radio number 4. Yeah, Joey, as you can hear, that noise, that kind of rushing noise you hear when the band is opening, starting to fade out. So I got a little hot spot there for a while, but it may come back here at 9:27 on the West Coast. Hey, 60, come on up. We'll put you in as Radio 4 and Travis. Yeah, they like staying up in the balcony. They like being up in the balcony because when I look up to see who's there. I'm kind of looking through the studio lighting here, and I can't really see what's going on. Sometimes I can see the barbecue, the barbecue flaring up from Albert and the gang. I know something's going on. Radio 4 at 9:28. We don't know what it is yet, but Joe will tell us. Hello, Mr. Hustler.
Thank you much, sir, Dennis. Yeah, doggone it. I thought you were going to put me in that green room. I said, I'll go straight to the popcorn. We sure do love it. In fact, we have a bag. We just might have to put that on right now. Kind of enjoy the rest of the program. Dennis, we're on our Robin, our 23 channel. 123B, my little 10-tube 23 channel.
Okay, is that the first bird of the evening of any type? Robin T 123B. A fan favorite for those that like green radios and the cool Panasonic chassis that it shared with a few other radios. As always, you've got the audio dialed in perfectly. We'll get a picture. Let's see. I've got a couple of different shots. I'll scroll through the pictures here. I believe this was the Panasonic chassis that got the most real estate on the front end with knobs and dials and everything else, and definitely works good. All right, take a key down. Make some of those lights flash.
You know what? Doggone, this modulation light is flashing. And the old text light there, it kind of looks like it has a V in there for volts. Kind of crazy. Once again, Dennis, we said that was 23 channels. We've got a few extras in here. This is a modified Robin 123B. It has an extra 10 channels in it. And doggone it, as far as lights, everything that I push on this radio seems to have a little light. You have one for your external speaker, you have one for your PA, and right now the mod's on, the text is on, meter's working great. I see a little swing, but I don't know if it's on your end as well. And dials are, I think we're tuned in pretty good.
You are tuned in perfectly. Let me go back to the full screen shot. You're getting, from Chrissy, 3 thumbs up. Wait a minute, 3 thumbs up? How do you do that? Oh, okay, Dwayne is helping out. Dwayne is putting a thumb in there too, I think. Yeah, the external speakers, you got to press the button to engage said item. So imagine if you're on an external speaker, you're not hearing the radio. No, you're on PA, you're not hearing the radio. External speaker probably would sound pretty good. That radio's got a nice little audio amplifier, and you say it's got some extra frequencies. So did they put some switches on the front somewhere? How did they modify that?
Yeah, kind of crazy. Like right next to the meter above the TX light, which is blue when it's on, there's a little switch between 2 screws that are set into the wall. It's a small micro switch, and it's facing down. And over to the external speaker side, right where that orange amber light is at. There's also another little micro switch there. Kind of looks like it was designed that way or come from the factory. But those switches were put in to be able to operate the funny channels. Right now, the one over on the external speaker, or the TX, I'm sorry, speaker there, the amber one, the switch is up. And over by the text light, the switch is down. So it puts me on this channel, channel 11.
All right, I hope you have a road map, or I would need little Post-it notes stuck across the front of the radio to know, go up to this and go down to that, because obviously your channel selector is going to be somewhere where you are not on frequency. And it's good, some people are a little leery about modifications on the radio, but if you do it right and it actually does something good, okay, maybe if you're a collector, it pulls the value down. But if you're an operator and a collector, it probably makes it pretty cool. And I bet back in the day, it was a very coveted radio to get to those, shall we say, extra frequencies. And it's not a sideband radio, so you'd be up on AM, but it would work. Maybe it goes down below channel 1 as well. Radio number 4, the Robin T123 Bravo, manufactured from 1972 to 1976 on that Japanese Panasonic chassis. Now, I'm sure it would have went a lot longer than 76, but that's the year that, of course, 40 channels, the FCC banged their gavel and said, yes, you can do the 40 channels. And, oh, by the way, you can't sell 23-channel radios anymore. So all the manufacturers had to either modify what they got or come up with something new. That is 11 tubes, 12 AX7 in the modulator. So that's why the audio sounds good. I don't know if you're an audio guru. Some people go in there and find a sweet sound in AX7 or some replacement tube and work on the audio. But you don't need to do that. People are saying it sounds good listening in on the internet. So back to you for transmission. Thanks for Radio 4.
Thank you, Dennis. Doggone it. It's such a good-looking little radio, too. The dials in the center have that light color. Kind of done up right. They spent a little money on this one. The dial itself is green. For the number 11 is yellow. And from the dial, you can see the dial is like green. But anyway, thanks for letting us check this one in, and we'll get another one warmed up.
All right, and we have a homework assignment for you, because there's some speculations from the SWLs. If that Robin T123B, radio number 4 in the old Tube Radio Network at 928 from SWL 60, if that Robin T123B were ever to lay an egg, would it be spotted? You'll let us know. Thanks for checking it in.
Okay. Okay, you got me there. All righty, we'll check in another one.
Now, if it looks like him, we're getting rid of it.
25.
Hey, 25. Why don't you jump in on Radio 5 here at 9:34 OTR time? Over.
Yeah, okay, real quickly, another sonar, Model G as in George this time. And again, very similar to the Model E as Edward. 8-channel transmit, DFO. Actually, I was kind of messing around with the DFO tune, but the crystal control seems to be a little bit better. Anyway, 8-channel transmit, no speaker on the front, and again talking on a sonar stock microphone. And back to you, Dennis.
Wow, that rivals the general radio telephones for audio on a stock microphonium. Let me get a little closer picture here so you can see. Look at the size of that element. It was Crazy Bob or JT said, I guess it earned the nickname of a piece of toast. It's like you were talking into a slice of bread. It's that big. And I think the sonars started with that, was it the 6BQ5 push-pull audio, and just super screaming. I wish I had an REA meter on that. I bet be pushing 140 watts of audio, and Motor Mouth Mall would say, heck, you don't need to put a modulator on that. 8 channels on the selector on the front, and a tunable receive. Let me go in on that tunable receive. So my question for you, if you're hearing me, is how do you match up? Okay, you find channel 11 on whatever spot it's in, but then you've got to find channel 11 on the tuner. So you just wait for somebody to come in, or do you have a little thing you can push to do a spot tone?
You're setting me up. Yes, we do have an XTAL button, kind of a spot button that dials you in if you're on the VFO side. And I guess what you could do, you got to think about that, but you could actually work split. You could dial in on VFO one frequency and then go to Crystal on the other one and monitor two frequencies. I think that's how it would work. I've never tried it, but who knows, man? I've been checking in these radios now for 25 years, and I should know the answer to that.
All right, well, that was a good enough answer. I mean, you always, and I've found a shot with the spot switch and the crystal spot switch, so it would work. You always find us here on channel 11, so imagine I'm somewhere between the 10 dot and the 15 dot, so it's not too hard to find. Cool radio S meter, 8 channels. I was looking for a price on this one for the day, and oh yeah, found it. Wow, $229.50. And it's not even 23 channels. So what you would do is you'd go to your place and buy the radio and maybe 8 channels. Probably came with two channels in it. So you'd spend another $25 and populate that thing, and you'd be good to go. Have your favorite channels, and channel 9, of course, and a trucker channel, and you'd be good. I noticed the light, the illumination front panel light is underneath that little sketch-in panel up front, so it looks like you can pull those 2 screws out and change the light bulbs without having to take the radio apart. Coolness. Radio number 5, the Sonar Model G. If you're still there, please take another transmission, and we'll be listening.
Yeah, okay, and you can't do a split here. I actually thought about it, but the big difference between the Model E has a speaker in the front end, and the Model G has a meter. So the meter's bouncing around all over the place. So anyway, cool radios, and back in the day, they must have been great mobile radios. Back in the day when we had the big cars, the Rivieras and the 442s, Oldsmobile 414. We had the big dog houses and plenty of room to mount. Mount a radio underneath from the dashboard, and it'd be perfect especially for a Buick Riviera. Anyway, thanks for checking in, Dennis, and back to you. 37.
All right, 37. Don't go away. Yeah, I never had the pleasure of mounting one of these sonars in my Buick Riviera, although I did put in the Yaesu FT101 and the Regency Imperial sideband that had the vibrator, and you turn that thing on and go buzz a little bit and do its thing. And let's see, did that have a metal dash? No, that didn't have a metal dash. I had to put it on the passenger seat, and if I had passengers, well, they had to sit in the back. Thanks. Radio 5, the old tube radio network, real radios glowing in the dark. We do this every Saturday, most every Saturday on 27085 Channel 11. Sort of a gathering, if you will. Jerry was talking about the old cars. Well, you've seen them before at the hamburger stand on Friday and Saturday nights, the fins and chrome. Well, this is the fins and chrome of tube CB radios, and we're glad that our operators take time out from whatever they're doing. Probably getting in trouble to sneak into the radio room and check in the radios, but we appreciate it. Just like this guy. Hello, Chris. You are Radio 6. Step right up.
Well, thank you, Dennis, and good evening, Jerry. Sounding good over this way. Anyway, Dennis, I would like to check in my general radio telephone, the Super MC11A 24-channel version, and we're running here with the original, I guess it's the original, stock handheld microphone, and everything seems to be working.
Everything is working quite well. Super loud audio from a microphone that doesn't need a battery. Well, heck, the radio doesn't need a battery either. The Super MC11A, that grew the GRT logo and some improvements from the Super MC11. In fact, I think Paul said on some of them, the General Radio telephones said, send them back and we'll fix them. And then when they remanufactured, they made the 11A with the improvements. Always sounding loud on my radio, and beaconing across the Universal Media Netweb as well. Take another transmission here on Channel 11.
Well, thank you, Dan. We enjoy this. We definitely do. I just look at it this way. If it wasn't for you and, Jim and a few other people has been in here for years, and Lord knows we miss Jim when he left. But, you guys have done such a wonderful job out here. I just want to thank you for it all the time.
All right. Well, I appreciate that. And like I mentioned, we wouldn't be doing this if it wasn't for everybody taking time out of their Saturday evenings to jump in. Shortwave listeners, we're beaconing across the US of A and elsewhere. We've got a lot of cool people that do the same thing, believe it or not, in their locations. Having a radio night, whether it's old radio night, JT and the gang, or just getting on a get on the air night. A lot of people collecting these radios or have a collection and restoring the radios. So it's a good thing. It's a fun thing to do, and it reminds us of, well, I don't know, maybe our first walkie-talkie or our first SWL radio. It's a good deal. Thanks for joining us as always. And Radio 6, the General Radio Telephone, Super MC11A, and that also, no, that has 9 tubes. The Robin had 11. How do they do it? They take out a tube and it still sounds good. That has the ever-popular ECLL 800 on the modulator output, and of course, in the mic preamp, the 12AX7. Thanks for bringing it by tonight. Over.
No problem. Well, we do, like I said, definitely appreciate it and love this stuff. So, all right, we're out and listening.
All right, well, maybe we'll do it for 35. Oh, wait, we have been doing it for 35 years. OTR standing by. Are the jingle singers, I am going to try, I might get in trouble. I'm going to try to see if the jingle singers will stop by here. So let me go to the meter. I'm going to have to flip a couple of switches. I mean, they do have to earn their keep. So if I can find the right controls, we will be hearing the jingle singers in about 3 seconds. You're listening to the Old Tube Radio Network.
How do you do? Ladies and gentlemen, greetings to you. Wherever you are, your favorite slot on the dial by far is known to you as
OTR, the Old Tube Radio Network.
The station for you is
OTR.
45.
Hey, Paul, I hear you. I had to switch back into the digital mode here to get my microphone to work. If you can hear me, Paul, take a transmission. Over.
Yeah, I can hear you. This thing is got a word receiver. It's a Sonar Model H.
All right, Sonar. I've got my Rolodex already flipped over to Sonar. Let me see if I can find the Model H. We're going down the alphabet. We've had the Model E, the Model G, and going chronologically, the Model H as in hotel, and you know what? A 1 is popping up here. So take a transmission, another cool radio from Sonar. Over.
Okay. Yeah, it was manufactured in 1962, right after the Model E, so about the same wavelength on the thing. This transmitter is low on it. The receive is crazy on it. This thing has only 5 tubes in it instead of 9. Back to you.
Wow. Did Madman Muntz get a hold of that? I think that was the guy that used to pull the tubes out of the stereos and the radios until it wouldn't work. And then he'd put back on the last thing he pulled out, and it would work, and then he'd sell them at a discount. So you've got the Madman Muntz Model H. In fact, let me get the close-up here. It even says Model H with little quote marks around the H. Back to you for another transmission. Over.
Yeah, that's the radio. It's exactly like mine. Same color and everything. Kind of a bluish color as it goes off the main case. So it's actually the same thing. It's got red lights on the antenna, and it's got a power light on the thing, green light, and no meters at all. So this, like I said, it's the second one, second one after the E. So it's about the same year and everything. Real interesting. It's got, I think this, push to see it, I think it might have been the start of I'm losing it right now. Anyway, transmission received, and on the start of the high console, the one that's got this crystals in the thing. That's what I'm trying to think of. Hybrid. Thank you.
Yeah, and just looking at it, it was obviously a junior version. We had Jerry checking in the Sonar Model G just moments ago. Similar layout, but it had the lighted front panel. It had the 23-channel receive, and I believe it had the S meter. So I'm assuming this probably was under $200 and was a more entry-level radio, but they still give you the 8 channels and the external socket where you could plug in something off the front. So you could buy some more channels that wouldn't have to pull the radio apart. Audio is good. Not sure if I don't have the tube complement. Not sure if they do in the 6BQ5 audio. But Sonar was already making radios and other things. They knew what they were doing. The radios are very rugged. You can tell they're good bass or mobile radios, and they had accessories like the Sonar speaker and the big microphonium, and it's sounding good. Take one more transmission before you go. I'll give a frequency check, see how close the crystals are going. Over.
Yeah, the upper... It goes a lot of things. It's rested itself too, and I don't know if they did it anymore with the F-system or not. They might not have taken many more roles. Thanks for checking it in, Dennis.
Hey, thanks for bringing it by. Sonar Model H from around 1962, and I get you at 27.085.7, so about 700 cycles high, and I think that was the window the FCC gave for your crystal tolerance, 700 above or 700 below the frequency. So you're doing good in case the FCC ever comes to your door. Thanks for bringing by another Sonar radio here on the Old Tube Radio Network. Still time to get a radio checked in if you're warming something up. If you haven't checked in on the SWL side, we'll get you in there. And I'll take a look at the comments here, too. I've been kind of neglecting that. OTR is standing by.
Break OTR.
All right, the Break OTR will be right with you. And DD21, I noticed the same thing about the transmit receive sockets on the front of that radio, where most of them only have one, or only have the receive. So that was interesting. And the Break station, it is your turn now. I've stopped talking. Go ahead.
How about a late check-in from the radio lounge?
I can do that. With I guess late in the fact that it might not be roll call correct, but we are still on the air here. We're still on frequency at the Old Tube Radio Network. So if I find my SWL list, I will pop you up and get 47 checked in. How are things going?
Oh, things are going great. Thanks for asking. Just checking in a little late this evening. I'd gone to the Fresno Philharmonic's winter concert. Which was pretty gosh darn good. So came home, flipped on this radio, and I have to say everyone sounds exceptionally clear. I don't know if it's the fog in the air or what, but gone are the times when it kind of sounds like when you get to two Dixie cups and you tie them together with string, and you can hear your friend talking from around the corner. Boy, we're not talking that level of fidelity this evening for some strange reason. It sounds exceptional this evening, but hopefully my audio is not half bad. I'm speaking on my Robin T123 with still, even after all these years, one of my favorite features, besides listening to everyone on it, it's my Magic Eye Tube, which I believe is, and I could be wrong, and this is 6RE13, I believe, but it's definitely winking and blinking at me right now. And Boy, what fun it is to stare at this guy.
20.
And 20, you will be radio number 9 after we get Mike checked in here. I'll put you in at 9:49. There's the Robin T123B. We're showing a picture of the Magic Eye in the front, all 23 channels. Philharmonic, good. You'll have to let me know where are they playing. Where are they playing? And SWL 73. That's probably where he is tonight. He didn't check in. He's probably out there with the Philharmonic in his violin. So glad you enjoyed that. It's been a long time since I've been to a Philharmonic thing. In fact, the last thing they were involved in, there was PDQ Bach was in town, and I think they use the Philharmonic, as part of his routine, which sounds like a super fun gig. Let me pull the radio up a little bit closer and take another transmission as we listen to the sounds and see the sights of the early Robin T123 before 1972.
Oh boy. Okay. Well, I'm not going to get too sidetracked here, but I was at those concerts listening to PDQ Bach. That was a long time ago. And I'm sorry, I know that we probably have slightly more listeners that then live here in town. But every time the Phil performed in the Williams Royan Theater downtown Fresno, and if you haven't been there, you might not know what I'm talking about. But PDQ Bach made a comment. I still remember it after all these years. He made a comment about the inside of the theater looking like someone had accidentally slammed on the brakes really hard, because there are these. I don't know how to describe it. The walls on the sides of the stage or auditorium are kind of, they're kind of zigzagged. I don't know if there's a better way to describe it, but PDQ Bach made a comment on that. And even this evening when I was sitting down there, I thought, I remember way back when. So it's shocking that you happen to remember that. But they sounded fine. And what can I say about this radio? SWL 20 sounds great on it too. It sounds like he's maybe a little bit further away, but still sounds fantastic. But there was another comment I was going to make. I can't remember what it was. I am using an amplified D104 on this radio. Which definitely makes the Magic Eye wink and blink way more than if I had an unamplified mic. So hopefully it's still working.
It's working great. In fact, you answered like I was clairvoyant with your accordion-looking convention center thing. You answered my question because we are showing the matching MT1 microphone in the set here, but you are not using that. But I think it's probably something you would aspire to hook up to the Robin and the Magic Eye. And the Magic Eye in itself is probably enough to keep one happy, especially when they're making it bounce up and down when you're transmitting. 11 tubes, 2 transistors for the DC to DC conversion, I think 12 volt DC, 115 volt AC. I'll get it right. And it's on Sam's PhotoFax, page 95 of book 35. Take another transmission. Harvey is in the queue. I see him in the green room. I don't know. Let's see if we can get him up on the air stage here. But before that, we want to hear another transmission from the Robin.
Okay. Yeah. Well, thanks for letting me check it in this evening. It's always, sincerely, it's always a joy to do this. Especially on nights like this evening when it's just exceptionally quiet. I don't know why it is so quiet, but it's really nice. I was almost going to say that it's more pleasurable to use these radios when conditions are quiet, but sometimes even the noisy nights are in themselves, they have their own charm, depending on where that interference is coming from, whether it be skip or other kind of curious things going on around the neighborhood. But anyways, thanks for letting me check it in. And the other thing I was going to say was don't feel bad about the PDQ Bach thing being your last trek out there to hear the Phil, because the last time I went to go capstan was when Leonard Nimoy actually came and performed with him. That's a story in itself. But anyways, thanks for letting me check it in. Man, it's fun sitting here just playing on this thing. Thanks for giving us the opportunity to use them. Quickie?
All right, and thanks for bringing it by. Quick acknowledge will be right with you. And I I saw Levon's comment. It scrolled by, but I just saw it about saying his passenger is his radio station. I've done that before. I've driven to L.A. with the radio on the passenger seat, trying to tune the thing and tune and load and go down the highway. And Mike, you missed. We had a short little skip burst. It was the coolest thing. There was a video gate going on for this Skipland thing, probably from John Motormouth Mall, and we could barely hear the stations talking back and forth. And then underneath was us locally, and it wasn't really affecting what we were doing on our little show of shows here on the Old Tube Radio Network. And some other stations, 153 was in saying hello to us and watching the video. So it was just kind of a wild, multi-layered thing going on for about a half an hour. Not like, the mini grass where it's all or nothing. Everybody was having a good time, as we still are here on the Old Tube Radio Network. Thanks for Radio 8. I will pick up the quickie. Harvey is stepping up into the air chair. Don't take a transmission yet, Harvey, but let's go to the quickie. Hello from OTR.
Yeah, that's Peter Shickley. His name isn't PDQ Bach. Peter Shickley, head of the music department at the University of Southern North Dakota at Hoople. Just wanted to get that in there.
All right, thanks. Yeah, it's like saying you were talking with Jethro Tull, right?
Yeah, or Pink Floyd.
There you go. All right, so Peter Shickley, and I don't even know if what he's still doing, but always a good show if you can see it. All right, thanks for the clarification. You never know. Maybe he has like Elvis, he's got a CB radio in his car. he's got an Eva Johnson in the Cadillac. Let's see, who wanted to come in? Hello, Harvey.
Okay, with the modulator on, to make sure I can be heard, the helicopter CB3 with a realistic hand mic, and it looks like the aesthetic old grayish black hand mic. This radio will be for sale. I'm going to go through all the tubes, all the capacitors, put it on the air next week, hopefully get it all done. And with this hand mic, it'll go. Everything seems to work. I just got to get a little bit more power out. And then if it sells locally around here, I'll try and put in whatever channels they want. But right now, it's got 11, let me see, 4, 1, 5, 9, 7, 11, 12, 15, and 18 on dynamo tape that's stuck on right next to the channel designation, which I'll probably leave on and let the new person take them off, or if they leave these channels, that's just fine. But I'll go through it. This radio was Dave, number 133. He got it and had Red Monkey at one of the breaks, and it was a raffle radio. We had a raffle for several radios several years ago, and Dave won this one. So I kind of knew it would work. I just had to tweak it because it had sat for a while. But I'll go through all the tubes, make sure everything's okay.
Okay, and it's sounding good. The modulator makes it a little bit rough, but like I said, you need it probably to get almost full quieting into the receiver here. And it is acting every bit like a helicopter CB3, CB3A in that they're easy to overdrive into that flat topping. So you got to be careful. You've got to get your voice into that mellifluous, so you don't overpeak that thing. And we'll hear a little bit of flat topping on the audio. But generically, typically, it is very loud. I apologize for on our Rolodex here for not having a really great picture of the CB3. And let me just clarify, that is a CB3 and not a 3A, over?
That's correct. It's a 3, not the 3A. No meter and no VFO. No option for that. It was the CB3, and then they came out with the 3A. Anyway, I backed off the mic a little bit. I've got one more to check in, and then I'll be done for this week. Be back next week. As I said, I'll go through this and make sure it's as ready as I can get it. Anyway, I'll let you go, and I have to switch coax, so it'll take me about a good 30, 40 seconds, and then I got to check in another one.
Okay, no problem. We're a little getting over time here, but that's okay. It looks like the CB3 was maybe not quite as elegant. I don't see the panels for the VFO and the meter, but it might have them. But I bet the internal workings were the same. I want to say hello to Bolt up there in the Santa Cruz Mountain 194. Thanks for listening in the Old Tube Radio Network tonight. And let's see, what else was I going to mention? Helicrafters, CB3A. I've got, actually, do I have it in the back? I'll have to add it. I've got from Chris's collection, the CB3A. That thing will do about 95% modulation, and then the waveform just skews and does strange things. Also, I wanted to make sure, Larry, SWO40, if I didn't check you in before, I know you were there, and I see you packed your message with enough of the little memes and icons that I couldn't help but see it. And so there you go. If you look up where it is, right there, you'll see that SWO40 is checked in. We'll try and do the Jingle Singers one more time as well before we sign out, and we're waiting for Harvey or whoever else to jump in with another radio.
135, 135.
135, it is, you have the floor, as they used to say. Go ahead.
20 after.
Got it.
And why not 147?
Got it. Go ahead, Cliff.
Okay. Speaking of helicopters, from Big Bell... It's so cold I can't talk out here. From Bill Halligan and the Helicopters, this is the Helicopters CB3A.
Yeah, Bill and the guys out of Chicago, Illinois. Back when they were actually Helicopters and not a subsidiary of Northrop and something else. All right, the CB3A. I've got the shot of the CB3A courtesy of you. I'm bringing that up on the thing, and there's the big brother, the ultimate version of the CB3 with a little bit more bling, I guess, or pizzazz. Looking good and sounding good as well. You are Radio 10. We're in the double digits. Take a transmission.
Okay. I am using, and it's actually swirling now for some reason. Well, there it went. Hey, can't last forever, right? I'm using a D104 on this right now, amplified. I do have the original microphone as pictured. I can plug that in.
Oh, okay, the little teardrop microphone. Yeah, it was doing a little kind of a squealy, screechy oscillation thing, but the carrier was still there, and not a problem. So I'll get the close-up here. There's the microphone, and that'll give you time to... And I was looking at the mic jack to see if it was a phono plug, but I think, if I remember correctly, the Helicopters of this vintage use the little 2-pin microphone, and if you have a Browning-style microphone with the 2 pins, in fact, that's what I did. When I had the CB3A here, I was able to plug in my jack that went into the Browning and goes right in. And you've got to be careful because you've got some high B+ voltage on that thing.
Yeah, that's very true. It doesn't have as much audio, but this is the original handheld Turner 350 style microphone that originally came with it. And I'm right into that thing. And that's exactly what I did just a minute ago. That's the Golden Eagle D104 static microphone from my Browning that I had plugged into it to get some better audio. Is this at least legible?
Yeah, it's good. It's mellow. It's mild. Not a lot of lows, not a lot of highs. Probably 70% modulated, but you've got a good full quieting signal. And it adds a little flavor. That's what I love about AM. You change the microphone and then you can really change your voice. You know, sideband is cool, but you're kind of limited in that bandwidth. So no matter what you do, you kind of sound the same. But you change the microphone in AM, in good old YAM, and now you've gone from 6 feet tall to 3 feet tall to in front of the curtain to behind the curtain to up in the balcony. You could be anywhere. It's sounding good.
Okay. Well, I'm glad it's at least working. And I'll let Harvey have the floor there. Thanks for letting me check it in.
All right, Radio 10, Helicopters CB3A, a good example and juxtaposition from the CB3 to the CB3A, probably very similar inside, but a little more expensive and a newer version. All right, 47 is up in the green room. We'll be right with you, Mike, and 20. Hello, Harvey. And remember, you don't ever have to have checked in before. You don't need an SWL number. If you find yourself in possession of, Uncle Sylvester's old radio in the garage and it seems to work, bring it by on a Saturday evening, and we've got knowledgeable people that can talk to you about it and put it on the air and see if we can let some smoke out of it. That's why we are here. That's what we've been doing for 35 years. So do not be bashful if you ever find yourself ready to check in the radio and thinking, well, no, I have to do something. I have to send in a form letter. No, you don't have to do that. None of that's required. All right, Radio 11. Hello, Harvey. Over.
Okay. I have the modulator on. Can you understand me?
I can understand you. Over.
Okay. One more thing on the CB3. I'm also going to change the power cord. It's two-pronged, and either way you plug it in, there's 60-volt potential AC between the ground chassis of the radio, which you touch just about any which way, and the coax. So, I didn't think that was nice to leave it that way. Although, when it hit me, I kind of liked it. Anyway, so I will change it to a three-pronged port so you don't have that problem, whoever gets it. Okay, this is the Golden Eagle Mark III SSB off-the-shelf radio. I've been checking it in because it's also going to be for sale. Everything seems to work on it, sideband included, although I wouldn't recommend it. But everything seems to work. And what I did was also send away for some crystal receive crystal for channel 11. So when you go from manual, which is the VFO tuner, to the, let's say, crystal 1 or crystal 2 position, you get channel 11. And I retuned the radio for that because even though all the paperwork that I've got doesn't explain it, you may need to do it. So I did it, and a crystal receives great, as does tunable, the same gain reading and everything. So I will have a crystal in it when the radio is sold for Channel 11. Now, if I have time and the person gives me time and says, well, gee, could I have a Channel 20 or 17 receive crystal so I could just flip to that? Since there are two positions, I will get them a crystal for that. Anyway, I wanted to add that. And also for anybody that's got a Mark III, where your Channel 11 crystal is a little bit off and you can't get it on, I acquired several of those 16.390 crystals. So if you need one, I've got one. Anyway, or some. Okay, that was a nice long buzzer transmission. And still working.
Yeah, it didn't skip a beat on the Browning. Good transmission, sounding good through the device. Could be for sale. I like the little Channel 11 thing. It's like an instant, you can SWL OTR by a flip of the switch. My friend back when I was in, I think it was 2nd or 3rd grade, had this Dodger radio. They grew up in L.A., and you'd flip a switch and you get the Dodger game at the flip of a switch. So this would be like flip the switch, and there's OTR on Saturday evenings. Browning Golden Eagle Mark III SSB from the 133 collection, which is really cool. Really cool that Dave did that. So we'll get some of these radios out and about. Maybe locally, you never know. People can get on the air, their first radio, a Saturday night kind of thing. Go out and spin the tires, make some noise, get on the air. Thanks, Harvey, for Radio 11. And standing by with Radio 12, perhaps, is 47. Hello, Radio, over.
I almost grabbed the wrong microphone. That's kind of fun. It kind of conjure up images of having a really large collection, which I don't have. But it was pretty easy to find this one, which is, of course, my one and only, unfortunately, Browning radio, my R27S23.
The first Browning to be called the Eagle, paired, as we are looking in an advertisement here, with the mobile version called the Raven. Birds of a feather. Give wings to your CB communications with this unbeatable Browning team. Now, I don't think you have a Raven, but you've definitely got the Eagle base station. Take a transmission.
Okay, oh boy, you brought up that Browning Raven. I really have a thing for mobile radios. I love using them outside the radio lounge, which you can do. Actually, you can do, and I've thought about it numerous times. I think I'm giving myself a challenge here, but anyways, yeah, this one has not been used on the road, and I definitely would love one of those the Raven radios, but this one takes up too much real estate. You're not going to be sending this from underneath your dash in anything modern, and I wish you could do it something older, like a 71 Ford Torino or something like that. But nothing I'm driving these days.
Well, what Jerry was talking earlier about, the metal dashboards and putting your radio in and doing that. So I don't know, but putting one of these mobile, I don't know. I guess you could. You have to be like Levon, and it will be your passenger. In fact, it may even be the driver. 1964, 65, 66, this radio was the thing. $359. So this is well $100 above most anything you can buy. But of course, it was the Browning Eagle. The Series 2 or the Series 1, Series 2 transmitter had the larger meters, neon modulation light, and the on-the-air indicator. It looks like there's an operator's manual at oldtuberadio.com you can click on. I think it's still there. Not sure, but it's sounding good, and we're adding it to the mix for Radio 12 tonight. Over.
Okay, thanks. Maybe just one last thing you might want to comment on. I'm always curious. I think, a short time ago, you mentioned something about like a catalog or I don't know, something like that. And being it, coming up on Christmas time for some folks, I always remember getting the Radio Shack Christmas catalog. And man, that was one of my favorite things of the year going on, because I'd always, open it up and just check everything out, to be honest with you. But I was always enchanted by at that point in time, it was transistor radios and all that good stuff. But I'm kind of curious, and I don't know if you or anyone else can make a comment on it. I'm wondering if these Browning radios were ever advertised in any magazines. I don't know. It's just like a random thought that popped into my head. I don't even know what kind of a magazine Browning would choose to market their products. Well, if they did, I'm sure they probably made a couple folks happy with these big receivers and transmitters on a tree. Who knows? But anyways, I'll let you comment on that, and I'll be listening for everyone else. Thanks for letting me use this thing. What a joy it is to use, especially with the ginormous audio lamp. But anyways, thanks.
All right, and thank you for bringing it by. And Jimmy, SWL34 has a lot of the Browning ads in there. They were kind of this series of ads with this everyday guy sitting in front of his Browning on a table, and his family was always gathered around, and it was sort of this, I can't remember, it's like, Bob doesn't allow his kids to touch the Browning, and they'd have like the family tied up in the background. There's this strange ad campaign by Browning. So we get a hold of Jimmy. I have to see. Might get some of those and pop those up. So I don't know where those ads were displayed, but the Browning had their own little series going with this crazy family and the guy trying to keep the family trying to get his attention away from the radio, something like that. I want to say hello to Bolt. He's listening in today, enjoying the radios. And who else is out there? Oh, Smarty Jones. Wow, long time no here. Good to have you staying up late with us on the Old Tube Radio Network, where we are going to be counting and amounting soon. If I can get my pencil that needs, I don't know why I'm using a pencil tonight, and it needs the lead is just go. No wonder it says China. The lead is not good in China. Let me tell you, this thing is just bore right down. I'm hardly using it, so I don't know about that. I need some of those good old number 2 pencils like we used to get in grade school. Thank you, Michael. And we are counting and amounting and checking in any other radios before we get out of here and shutting it down. The Old Tube Radio Network.
More thing.
This is the 2 more thing frequency. Go ahead.
Okay, on the Powercrafter CB3, I have an extra plug, a power plug, so it'll also come with a DC plug. So anybody who wants to take it camping in their 55 Studebaker, hey, you got a radio. Okay, and also, reason I'm waiting a little bit, might be another 2 weeks, maybe, on the, if not more, on the Mark III Browning. I'm waiting for some tubes, some 6BQ5 type tubes, because the one that's in there, transmitter for the modulator is only at around 75% on my tube tester, but seems to be just fine. However, I'd like a really strong tube to go with it. So I'm waiting for them. I'll pull one of them in. If it seems to do as good and test a lot better, that'll go with the radio. So just wanted to say that. Okay. Back to you, Dennis. Thank you.
All right. Sounds exciting. Some radios be available to put on your shelf for the first time, maybe, and get on the air, or even if they're just like behind you, even if they're just sitting there and you turn them on to provide some heat and make them your SWL radio. It should be a good thing. All right, I'm going to have to do the little switch over here. We want to, the jingle singers, everybody wants to get out of here. All right, well, we could check in radios all night. I'm ready to go, but you know what? We've got people in the building that have places to go and people to see. I'm looking for the right switch here. Okay, so let me switch over to the other analog studio, and we will be right back on your old tube radio network.
You're tuned to
OTR.
your dial reads
Channel 11.
right here in.
Fresno, California.
Stay with us
Old Tube Radio.
and be modern.
Counting and amounting, and back with the totals in a moment.
This is the Old Tube Radio Network. Ladies and gentlemen, stand by. It's time now for the current OTR totals.
All right, the current and final OTR totals. You know, sometimes this is a lot. This is a lot harder than it looks. Trying to get everything going here when you are not running an old tube radio, and you can just have the stock microphone and one crystal on channel 11, and be good to go. All right, let me actually key the transmitter so that those at home can hear me as well. Sometimes it's a little difficult. I'm not sure. I think I'm on the air, but maybe I'm not. All right, it looks like we're going all the way around. Good stuff. I'm doing some counting and amounting. I'm assuming everybody heard what was going on. Let me put on. Let's go to the REA. Yeah, don't need to look at me. What is going on? Oh, SWLs. Tonight we had 66 checking in. We had 11 on page 1, 18 on page 2, 17 on page 3, 20 on page 4, and that's just the ones that checked in. There were a lot of you, I'm looking at Cornbread, that specifically did not check in. And that's who I'm talking to. Thank you all for those of you who did not check in but were around. That's okay. We like that too. Radios tonight. It was a strange evening. It went from nice and quiet to Skip Bland from Texas in the middle of the night, right? That never happens. Talking to Motormouth Mall about 100 miles away on the coast that we can't hear. His video gate going on for Channel 11. Our program going on for Channel 11. And all sorts of great radios. 153 checking in, watching the video. And so sometimes, radio can be wacky. That is the propagation thing that happens, or not. And so you need line of sight. Radios today, we had 12 check in. And who was the most heard manufacturer? I think, let me double check this. I don't want to be wrong. Sonars. I believe it's the Sonars. The Robins with 2. The Hallicrafters with 2. The Brownings with 2. General radio telephones. Should have been 2 of those, I think. No, there was just one general, but there were 3 sonars, starting with the Sonar Model E. So, Jerry, you got things started off well tonight with that Model E. Radio number 2, Cliff on the CB23 from Hammerland. It was a good night for radios, starting with the letter H, it appears, as we had some Hammerlands and Hallicrafters. After the Hammerland, the Super MC8 general radio telephone. That's right, there were 2 general radio telephones. That was Paul. The Robin T123B. Uh-oh, you know what? Wait a minute, were there 3 Robins? I'm checking. No, okay. It's that pencil. I can hardly read what I scribbled on the paper with this pencil. The lead is so grainy. All right. He's complaining about this pencil. It doesn't even say number 2. Oh, it does. Okay. Number 2 from China. Let's see. Super MC8 from Paul. Joe came in with the Robin T123B For Radio 5, Jerry on the Sonar Model G. Radio 6 was Chris on the General Radio Telephone Super MC11A. Sonar Model H. That was our third sonar of the evening from Paul. Paul, you put him over the top with that one. Mike was on the Robin T123 for Radio 8. Then the Halocrafters, the CB3, which Harvey is working on, and that will be for sale. Radio number 9, the CB3A, definitely not for sale from Cliff, with the microphoniums, the stock microphonium, not sounding too bad on that at all. Radio 11, Harvey on the Browning Golden Eagle Mark III SSB, and that will also be for sale coming up. And then Radio 12, as you heard moments ago on the Old Tube Radio Network, the Browning Eagle, not for sale. The R27 S23. So a good time had by all. I hope that you all get a chance to get on the air if you want to do that, to do some DX. You know, it's the holiday time, starting to get crazy out there. So take a deep breath before you step out the door to do whatever you're going to do, and life will be good. 23 Skidoo saying he had a number 2 pencil once and it wasn't very good. I've had good ones before. This is just, let me try. Even the eraser isn't good. Maybe it's really old. I don't know. All right, back to the studio, and there we are. Thanks to SearchLawrence.com. Everybody in tonight. I think we did okay. I don't smell smoke. The meters are still working, so I'll get out of here while I have a chance. Good night, everybody. Thanks for joining us, and we will look for you next time on your Old Tube Radio Network.
Thanks, Dennis, and good night.
All right, 73 all, and again, the channel is quiet.
Now I'm like super curious to find out, like, where would you go really to buy in Fresno? Or I know there's several people that are probably listening right now from Fresno. I'm curious, what local shops would you go to actually buy a tube radio? I've done the Radio Shacks. Well, at least when I was alive, none of them were selling tube radios. Oh, that's, man, I'm curious. All right. Please don't everyone speak all at once. That's perfectly okay.
All right. It'll be safe to touch the 6L6 tube shortly. It will be unglowing in a moment. We're all checking the yellow pages to see where the radio shops are, and then we realize the phone book is so small there aren't any yellow pages anymore.
You know, I actually, I was going to make a wisecrack about a phone book at work the other day, and then I asked my clientele how many of them actually knew what a phone book was if they'd ever touched one. And it was disturbing how many people didn't know what one was, and definitely how many people had not touched one. That's sad.
Well, we ended up playing an 8-track last week, so at least some good things are left. All right, I'm going to step out of the air chair for a moment and check on things. Thanks for your items of interest. And I'm going to go up on the balcony and see if I can't find some Somebody's leftover popcorn. All right, good night, everybody. I made it through the digital analog switchover stuff. Maybe next week I will have a workout to get some analog to digital conversion to get all this stuff back in. We'll see. Anyway, didn't have the echo problem tonight. That solved the funky RF echo problem. We'll have to see. Good night from the old Tube Radio Network, the old tired Tube Radio Network.